Well, good afternoon and welcome to this, the Victoria Park. Indeed, it is a friendly taking place here this evening where St. Vincent and the Grenadines in preparation for the Nation League encounters. There are two more games to take place. Of course, Nicaragua and the Bahamas. This afternoon, they're taking on the La Horquetta Rangers out of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Anthony Denny, and here with me, of course, is Cecil Charles. Cecil, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon and welcome to Victoria Park. It's really a wonderful evening and stage is well set for this encounter between La Horquetta Rangers and Vincent Heat.
Well, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as we're pretty much aware, sitting at the bottom with regards to their particular group qualification for CONCACAF Nations League. Just 1 point, a draw against Nicaragua, a team that they have to face. They'll be traveling to Nicaragua fairly soon, and then on the 27th, back home here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to take on the Bahamas. In the contrast, of course, La Horquetta Rangers, they're preparing for club football in Trinidad and Tobago. They're making that movement, so to speak, through the Windward Islands. They were in St. Lucia, defeated the St. Lucians 2-0. Played 2 matches against Grenada. The first, they lost 3-2, drew the final one 1-1, so it's expected to be a pretty good game here this afternoon. Both teams, of course, are preparing to make their way into the middle. And certainly we look forward to a very good game here this evening, Charlo.
Most definitely, and we can see the officials along with the team getting all ready and set to make their way onto the field. But both teams, again, have their own competition. They're well prepared. I think La Horquetta Rangers by now would be well prepared, having gone through the Caribbean, in St. Lucia, Grenada. Now they're here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So it's really good preparation for them to go back and to start their own quest in their championship, and Vincent Heat would certainly want to use this as a good preparation.
Well, there you have it. Both teams making their way into the middle. St. Vincent and the Grenadines this evening, predominantly green, and the La Horquetta Rangers, they are in white shirts with black shorts. Of course, game number 1 here this evening at the Victoria Park in capital Kingstown. And thus far, there's been a few spectators in here at the Victoria Park, and we expect more certainly to coming as the evening progresses.
So,
both teams in the middle, and yes, we know having the pleasantries being exchanged. Being a friendly, of course, we will certainly expect a bit of it on the field of play, but things Charlo might be very much quite different.
Well, it's known as a friendly, but I think it will be very keenly contested.
So there the St. Vincent and the Grenadines team, and maybe we can certainly look at the starting 11 for both teams. If we start first with Vincent Heat. Starting 11 here this evening. Of course, as you noticed, they're going through their little pep talk just before the kickoff. In the goal for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Josh Stowe. The rest of the squad, Kevin Francis, Joel Jack, Gavin Brown, Duvani Williams, Kirtland Williams, Garrett Ledgerwood, Matthew Jackson, Chad Haynes, Cornelius Stewart, the captain, and John T. James, the starting 11 for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
And for La Horquetta Rangers, it's Bryce, the goalkeeper, Russell Jr., Daniel Cyrus, Jesus Perez, Jaheim Joseph, Real Gill, Emmanuel Thomas, Daniel David, Isaiah Lee, Junior Asun, and Tyrone Charles, the captain.
Well, St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be defending the southern goal, the goal closer to the gas station end here at the Victoria Park, and La Horquetta Rangers defending the northern goal. I don't know who would have won the toss, but maybe this might very well work in favor of the La Horquetta. Of course, you know, the majority of the crowd right behind that northern goal, so it's good to, you know, certainly start off the game, and later on in the second half, you'll try to take the game out of the contest, Charlo.
So definitely, and the game would be carried by Moet Gaines, the referee, and he would be assisted by the assistant referee Kenran Daniel and Dan Roy Barker.
So we're just awaiting the kickoff here this evening. The lights are up here at the Victoria Park. There's a nice little cool breeze that is flowing across the Victoria Park. Weather-wise, it promises to be a pretty good one, and we're certainly looking forward to a good game here this afternoon as the Rangers certainly get things going here with the ball floated forward and immediately looking to make that early run here on the Vincentian team, but it's cut out, knocked back there by Williams, and an early battle for possession there in the midfield, Charlo.
So definitely, and Horquetta looking the more aggressive than Lee, looking to get around the defense, but there goes the whistle. Infringement call against Lee is going to be, in fact, against Vincent and the Grenadines, and it's going to be a free kick for the Horquetta Rangers.
Well, let's see what they can make of this one in this just the opening minute here this afternoon. And of course, they'll certainly like to spring that early surprise on the Vincentian outfit. It's good to see the likes of Kevin Francis back in the squad here this evening. As this one is floated in, not the best of free kick picked up there by Captain Cornelius Stewart, who's looking to get that diagonal ball going, trying to get one of his players going there on the right side, but it was cut out. And certainly there's a Horquetta player now going to the ground, and I believe it's yet another free kick to the Rangers in this game early, very early, Charlo.
Very early in the piece, and that was against the captain Cornelius Stewart.
So St. Vincent and the Grenadines, of course, will very much appreciate this warm-up game here this afternoon. Indeed, they're preparing, and here they now try to have a burst down on the left side. Run being made, and cross comes in, and it's knocked away. But that should have been a more better cross. He had space and time on the left flank there, waited a bit there for the defender, but we would have expected a better cross,
yes,
Charlo.
Definitely, I think Garrett Ledgett would wanted to expect that he would have done a lot better, but in the end it was Perez who booted it out of touch, and it's a corner.
Well, Kirtland Williams, we know that he is a dead ball specialist for his local team, Northlewood Predators. Normally takes the free kicks and the corner kicks, so let's see what he can make of this one. Decides to just float it back out there. Gets the return ball, and a miserable ball into the middle. Easy work there for the Trinidadian custodian. So
still very early in the piece.
Yes, and there we see in the background, you can consider him a Vincent mascot. Every time the national team has a game, you can expect to see a gentleman who's just gone off the screen, certainly coming out to support St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But Bryce just about to take this goal kick here for the Rangers. One floated upfield, could only find Stewart, and there's Kirtland Williams. He can certainly work some magic in the midfield for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, this time certainly going back in defense, and they will now try to build and come forward. This friendly that's taken place here at the Victoria Park. Crowd certainly continue to build, and nice diagonal ball, but it's cut out in defense there for the Rangers, and one is now floated upfield. Good ball, and this might be a little danger, and blocked by the defense. Good defensive work there by the Vincy Heat, and they'll now try to win possession there on the left side, but ball robbed of it, so to speak, and a quickly taken throw in. So into minute number 4, Captain Cornelius Stewart finds Ledgerwood, and Ledgerwood closely marked, forced back as a matter of fact. And one thing I noticed immediately, Charlo, the Rangers, they're not giving you that early space, so to speak. They're really coming at you very, very quickly.
Coming at and closing down whatever chances they have.
So here is Kevin Francis down with possession, as Vincey Heat will try to come forward yet again, and ball floated forward there now to Stewart. Again, you see the closeness of the Horquetta Rangers player. They're not given any chance. Nice ball floated over here on the left side, but good work in the end, and I believe it's going to be a goal kick for Vincey Heat.
It's a good defensive work there by Joel Jack, and really not giving the Rangers the space to get around the defense.
Well, to be honest, I was not expecting to see Cornelius Stewart in the team here this evening. not realizing the fact that he would have flown back home to be all part of it. We were expecting a totally locally based squad, but certainly good to see Williams back in. And there we see a wasted ball from Curtin Williams. Apologizes. I say, well, mate, I'm so sorry. Put a little too much on that one. And a throw now for the Horquetta Rangers here on this, the left side lock now into the middle. And they'll probably try to, yes, float this one upfield, but it's more or less into no man's land. You could have seen the intent to get that player there on the far right side, you know, to run onto it, but maybe just a little too much on the
Too overweighted, and it really went out of touch for a goal kick. So it's Francis who would look to come forward for Vincent Heat.
Francis, a player who certainly have had many caps in Vincent and the Grenadines, and it's good to see him back. Of course, he normally does a lot of work with the female football team, a local football team called Lago Heights, and they had a pretty good game just the other night. But Francis now with possession, going back in defense. So Vincent Heat being rather patient, just simply knocking it around in defense as Williams now will try to make some inroads. Ball floated forward there and cut out nicely by the Rangers. So flag is up, whistle going. And I believe it's against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So just about 6 minutes gone. We're into minute number 7. And there you see just a couple hundred spectators in. But as the game continues, we certainly would expect more to come in here at the Victoria Park. Rangers looking to build on the right side, but it's out of touch and quickly taken through by the Vincent Heat and booted away. Well, it's actually still in play. I was expecting that to go somewhere over the players' pavilion there, Charlo, but such was not the case. And now St. Vincent and the Grenadines with possession deep inside their own half on the left side. Again, you've seen that situation where they try first to knock it around in the defense, try to assess things before they certainly make that attack on the Horquetta Rangers team. Ball knocked back, and Jack knocking it upfield, but could only find the player there for Horquetta. I believe that's Real
Gill.
Yes,
And it goes out of touch.
Seems to be quite a nippy player indeed, and we look forward to see exactly what he can offer here this evening at the Victoria Park.
So it's a corner.
And Gill about to take this corner. A packed 18-yard box there for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Just a lone striker up front in Ledgerwood. So let's see what Gill can make of it as it's floated in. Not a bad corner, but it's knocked away there by Jonte James. And going out to touch there for a turn to Trinidad and Tobago. Just before the game started, we were having this conversation with regards to Jonte James being in actually the starting 11.
Certainly was a very big surprise to me for John T. James to be in the starting lineup and not the likes of Kenija Joseph or Terrason Joseph. But
well,
the officials would know better.
That one is being cleared, and Horquetta getting possession. I felt that the defender probably should have just held on to that a little bit more, because you've just simply given it away. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines will try to make some inroads there on the left side. Garrett Ledgerwood in a bit of a battle, and the ball picked up there, but immediately turned over to the Rangers, who now floats it upfield. Gill on the left side making a run for it, but goalkeeper Stowe is there first, and going out of touch. Maybe just a little lucky there, Stowe. So we're now going to have a try nonetheless to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, taken by Jack. And here's Curtin Williams. He's a player who's, you know, quite active, Williams, and you can expect him to certainly be that player who, you know, will be on all parts of the field, so to speak. As gets that return ball. And finds Joel Jack going back in defense. So that game, patient game, I should say, being played by St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But part of the problem is, and we've seen it especially at the local club level, you'll do all the work in defense to midfield, and then when you get in that final third, it becomes a problem. The finishing is certainly an area that needs to be worked on both at the club and national level, Charlo.
Most definitely, and you can see That one being knocked out of touch. Quickly throw in taken there by Cortland Williams and finds Francis.
So Francis knocking it back into the middle there now. And the ball floated forward again, not the best pass there. Just simply given up to the Rangers. So Jack doing some good work. And ball is being kept in, floated down the right side. That's Jonte James coming back in defense. And that's Garrett Ledgerwood now battling there for possession, but there's just too many white shirts around him. And good work coming back there. In the end, floated out, knocked out, I should say, by Kevin Francis. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines with possession. But once again, you see the situation where the Rangers are not certainly giving up the space. Nonetheless, on the left side, still with it, Kepsas one. And takes a shot. And just while the whistle going. And it's going to be a corner kick to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But not a bad build-up there from the Vincent Heat.
A good piece of work there by Vincent Heat, and Captain Cornelius Stewart looking to take the fight on. But in the end, he came off the defender out of touch, and it's a corner for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So Cornelius Stewart there showing his experience. And he has a good burst of speed as well.
Certainly. And that's something that Vincentian football has become known for over the years. You know, that speed, the likes of Rodney Chang, Jack, Joseph, as this one is plucked out of the air there by goalkeeper Bryce.
Pretty tall chap as well.
Very much so. And just beckons to his players certainly to go upfield. He's going to boot it up. And good header coming in there from the Rangers, but also good defensive work from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But this one falls for Gill. And cuts past Jonte James. Lovely ball there in the middle, but unfortunately found a green shirt. And here comes Cornelius Stewart now, coming back there to Jonte James. Finds Williams. Williams' ball has been knocked away there by Gill. Real Gill. And it's going to be a throw into St. Vincent, and the Grenadines are quickly taken through as the play continues. And again, you see the situation where they try to build from defense and possibly move through the midfield area as Kevin Francis floats this one forward, was looking there for his captain. Unfortunately, can't hang on to it. And Cortland Williams gets possession. And one of the things, and I had that interview with the St. Vincent and the Grenadines coach just prior to the game, Charlo, and he spoke on the fact, well, he's a standing coach, Bishon Williams, spoke of the fact that Kendall Mercury, before his contract was up, certainly, left the team. And one do hope that it certainly is not going to have any negative effect, especially going forward in the Nations League, where we still sit at the bottom of the table. But here is Francis with possession. And thus far, the St. Vincent and the Grenadines team, they look fairly comfortable. But also, you have to give some kudos to the Horquetta Rangers. They're certainly been very quick indeed, and not giving any space, so to speak, to the Vincentian players as they come forward.
They have been very, very strong in defense, and they're looking to work from that defense through the center and looking to get the forward going.
So
they certainly look a pretty organized team as well.
Definitely, and it's a good mix of players, quite naturally Trinidadian based, but I understand that there are one or two other players from around the region who is part of this outfit. As Bryce floats this one upfield, and there is Joel Jack closely marking. Lots of good work in the midfield there by Vincent Heat, and now the Rangers will come away with it on the right side. And in the end, it was good work. He knocked out of touch, not giving them any space to move any further forward there. And play continues as Cortland Williams now with possession for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ball floated forward. And here is now Jack going back in defense there to Duvani Williams. Williams to Williams. There are actually two Williams on the field of play here this afternoon for Vincent Heat. Duvani Williams and Cortland Williams. And Francis, as I said, more or less a veteran in this St. Vincent and the Grenadines team. Talking it forward, but good header coming in there from the Rangers, and they gain possession. Oh, for a moment I thought they were going to take that one up. Good sliding tackle coming in there. Well done. And here comes the Rangers once again. Still as the defense takes a shot, and that's a corner kick. It's off the defender, and another corner kick here to the Rangers.
But interestingly, Eddie, when you look at the Rangers, from the moment the ball gets through one of the forwards, you can see about 4 or 5 players coming through to give that sort of support.
Yes, and that was the opportunity, and rushed the back leg there of Joel Jack. Corner kick will result. It's just about to be taken. And the assistant referee now just having a bit of a discussion with the player there. I believe there's some trace of blood, and it's quite visible from where we're at here on his left shoulder area. Is that red spot? And certainly once there's blood, you will not be allowed to continue. He has to go and change that shirt and possibly get some attention. Yes, definitely.
He's now jogging his way to that area to get some assistance. And already we see Gill getting into position for that corner.
So the Rangers, they're down to 10 men, but certainly they have an opportunity, a wonderful opportunity here to possibly go one up in the 16 minutes. And in the end, it was blocked there by Captain Cornelius Stewart.
Most definitely, and then cleared by Francis. But it's Vincent Heat looking to come away with Ledger Wood down on the left. He has the defender with him. It's very difficult. He goes back to Kirtland Williams. Williams looks up. Back to Ledger Wood. Ledger Wood goes back to Williams. Kirtland goes back in defense. Back to Kevin Francis. Francis looking to come forward. Chips it long. Looking for Ledger Wood on that far side. Good header to James, but to Kirtland Williams, unable to control it, goes out of touch. It's going to be a throw-in for the Rangers. Long ball off the head of the busy Kirtland Williams, who is there still shadowing it. Has 2 Rangers players around him. It goes out of touch. It's going to be a throw-in for the Rangers. So Williams in battle there with 2 defenders.
And here we see a portion of the crowd here this evening. And as I said, we expect more persons to come in here at the Victoria Park. But of course, normally around this time, we don't have this type of crowd for a local club game. So it shows that certainly the attention has been certainly heightened here this evening, Charlo.
In fact, there's going to be a free kick on the far side. Unable to see the line from here. So it's Gill. Chips it across, long ball in the heads, go up. And cleared by the defense, but the long booted shot, high, wide, aimless, goes out of touch. And it's going to be a goal kick for Vincent Heat.
Well, there you see a bit of a rush of blood coming there from Russell Jr., Ross Russell Jr. He had the time to settle, but just took a one-timer, aimless, and skied that one. And certainly, of course, keeping the scoreline at 0-0.
So still in the 19th minute. Vincent Heat still with it. Ledger Wood skips around 1, skips around 2. Still looking to get forward, but I think he's trying to do too much.
There are 2 players now down, 3 as a matter of fact. Whistle going.
And, whistle going.
Well,
referee Moet Gaines just checking. Player who is gradually being helped to his feet now. And that's Emmanuel Thomas, number 18. So it's going to be a free kick for Vincent Heat. So referee Moet Games now indicating where that wall should be.
So Captain Stewart is there, so too is Kirtland Williams. So let's see what they can make of it, Charlo.
It seems as if it's Cornelius Stewart who is going to take that free kick. lobs in, heads go up and win to the waiting hands of the tall Bryce, who collects, rolls it out on the left.
Well, it was a good glancing header, but Bryce is well placed, and you said that height of him, made it very, very easy to just pluck it out of the air.
So it's with Rangers. Rangers still knocking it around. That's Thomas. Finds David, who finds Russell Jr. Goes wide, finds Gill. Gill goes down, skips around one, and gives it to Thomas, who is already there. There is Russell Thomas Jr. going back in defense. Finds his number 13, that's Jesus Perez. To Daniel. David. Still. Rangers looking to come forward. And losing it in the end. And there's Stewart going back in defense. Finds Gavin Brong. Looking for Chad Haynes, but he's booted out of touch. And it's going to be a throw-in for Vincey Heat.
Well, there was Cornelius Stewart lurking there, and the defender decided that not going to take that chance. As we have a look at this free kick once again, that's coming in. It's a good, decent header, but the tall, lanky figure there, Bryce, made it look like taking cake from a baby.
So it's going to be Francis in defense. Finds Devani Williams. Williams, just taking his time, goes wide. To Joel Jack. Joel Jack looking to go down. There was Jonty James, but cleared by the defense. And here is Gill, the busy player. Has one defender to contend with. Good ball. And diving effort there by Stowe. Getting a hand to it, and good piece of work there by Stowe.
Well, it was a situation there where Joel Jack was beaten there by the fast-moving Gill, and he cut on the inside, and nice ball to the right. The player had some space, but a good diving save there from Stowe.
So it's going to be Gavin Brong. Gavin Brong goes back in defense, finds Matthew Jackson, who comes across field, finds Devali Williams. Williams looking for Joel Jack, goes back to Williams, and he goes back to goalkeeper Stowe. Stowe goes wide now, finds Francis. Francis will look to come forward. Finds Cornelius Stewart. Stewart finds Matthew Jackson. And they're just satisfied in knocking it around. Gavin Brown. There's Francis to Cortland Williams. Williams still with it. Goes back to Francis. Cornelius Stewart. Nice ball looking for Jonty James. Jonty James is dead. Fails to control and cleared by the defense, and Rangers would look to come away with it. It's still with Rangers, but cut out by Cortland Williams. Back to Joel Jack.
Well, if we could just go back to that situation with Jonty James, I don't think he placed himself properly. He was just a little ahead of the ball, and certainly had he been just a bit back, it might have been different for Vincey Heat, Charlo.
Most likely, but there was Jonty James not controlling and goes out of touch. It's going to be a goal kick for Rangers, but Jonty James, I think, really overran that.
Exactly, that's the point.
And certainly was not in any position to make an attack. But the Rangers so far, they have been very strong in their defense.
As we look at that fairly good work going down on the line there by Joel Jack, going to keep it in, and here we have this goal kick.
So Bryce boots it long field, headed back up by the tall Williams, but only to find the defense for Trinidad. The Rangers goes back to Perez. Perez goes back to goalkeeper Bryce. Bryce boots it downfield and headed away there by Joel Jack. Jack has Gavin Brown on that far right, and he goes back to Francis. So still, both teams still searching for that elusive goal thus far. Gavin Brown cuts in, gets around two. Good ball. Still with Vincey Heat. And there, Vincey Heat still with it, but being hustled off it by Rangers. And Rangers will now look to counter-attack. And the whistle going for infringement, called against Vincey Heat. So it's going to be a free kick for the Rangers. Quickly quickly taken to Cyrus. Cyrus boots it downfield, looking for that play on the far right, but losing it in the end to Vincent. Matthew Jackson still with it. Jackson comes wide, finds Williams. Williams finds Joel Jack. Jack goes back to Williams. So it's Devani Williams to Cortland Williams, who finds Cornelius Stewart. Goes wide now to Kevin Francis. Francis looks for Gavin Brown, does so. Brown slips and loses it, but regains it. And he goes down the left, but cut out there by the defense for the Rangers. It's going to be a throw-in.
That's Thomas, and he's very much animated about it. Sort of admonishing his defense there, and went in hard to ensure that that one went out, Charlo.
So it's Vincey Heat looking to come forward. Still with Vincey Heat, gets a wrong one with a shot blocked by the defense there. Number 15 would come away with it. That's Tyrone Charles, the captain. Gives it to Gill. Gill goes to his right, finds David. And that one is booted out of touch by Vincey Heat. It's going to be...
It's going to be. It looks like it's going to be a throw-in, but both teams certainly the pace is very much there. Going head-to-head here this evening, they both have had their chances thus far, and it's all left to be seen when is it going to break.
The heads go up, but cleared there by Francis. Only to find the number 18, Russell Ross Jr. now with a shot and goal. It's wide, and it's going to be a goal kick for Vincey Heat.
That's the second shot of the evening for Russell Jr. The first one he skied. This one he was a little bit more patient, but certainly was not on goal.
No. So Joel Jack would come away with it for Vincey Heat. Goes back in defense to Williams. Devani Williams goes wide, finds Kevin Francis. Francis still looking to come forward. Seven booted downfield, aimless, but cut out by the defense for the Rangers. And again we see that Russell Ross Jr. in defense, but there is Williams. Has Gill to contend with, but he goes back to goalkeeper Stowe. Stowe clears it now. There is Cornelius Stewart in a battle there with Emmanuel Thomas. Vincey would come away with it. Kevin Francis, tall figure. Comes wide to Joel Jack. Jack goes to his right, finds Cortland Williams, who skips a wrong one. Looking to get through the center, he's still going. Gives it there to Matthew Jackson. Jackson goes wide, finds Cornelius Stewart, who has about 3 defenders. He's been brought down. Referee White Gain says to play on. It's Rangers being robbed of it, and Vincey Heat would come forward once again. Still Vincey Heat gets a wrong one, gets a wrong 2. Shot blocked by the defense of Rangers, and Rangers will now counter-attack, booted downfield.
Well, there's a situation there, Charlie, where the St. Vincent player was trying to do too much there. He had about 3-4 players around him, and certainly options to his left and right, and chose to go through, but was blocked in the end.
So it's still with Vincey Heat inside the Rangers half, but cut out there by Rangers, and Rangers will now look to counter-attack with Perez going down the right. And it's been shadowed out of touch. It's going to be a goal kick for Vincey Heat. Well,
this game has been played at a fairly good pace here this evening indeed, and both teams, of course, showing that they have a very good fitness level here this evening. They've been running hard, so to speak. Cotton Williams, for example, he's doing his work in the midfield, and a while ago we saw him darting down that right flank. Of course, created that opportunity for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which they didn't capitalize on.
So it was Vincey looking to come forward, and then he's knocked out of touch. The defense standing strong for Rangers. It's going to be a throw-in for the Vincey Heat. On our far left, quickly taken, headed back to Gavin Brown. Brown has a defender. Still with it. Loses it to his captain, Chad Haynes. He comes back in defense to Devani Williams. Williams looks up, looking for some support. He goes wide to his left, finds Kevin Francis. Francis finds Gavin Brown, still with it. Cornelius Stewart skippers around 1. Good shot coming through, but there is Ross Russell Jr. in defense once again. And there is Cornelius Stewart looking to go back to Joel Jack, but losing it to the defense, and now cleared by Stowe. Goalkeeper finds Garrett Ledgerwood, who is in a tussle with Emmanuel Thomas, and he's been booted out of touch. It's going to be a throw-in for the Vincent Heat.
Well, throw is taken now, and Kevin Francis certainly trying to, as he's been doing, build and move forward, floated forward, looking there for John T. James, but good header coming in there. As a matter of fact, lost it momentarily, but the Rangers pick it up once again with Gill, who plays a lovely ball on the right side. Sliding attempt there from Joel Jack, but it's still with the Rangers, as Daniel now will hang on to this one, as their options to the left and right, and also in the middle, went down the left, but got too close there to goalkeeper Josh Stowe, and certainly made it quite easy for him and St. Vincent and the Grenadines as he bowls this one out. John T. James, good glance and header there to his captain, and Williams picking it up in the middle, trying to do a little too much there in the middle, and lost possession. So the Rangers will now try to come forward once again. Battle there with Matthew Jackson. Nice ball on the right side. And still with control, and the cross comes in now. And in the end, it's, well, possible opportunity there that was muffed by the Rangers. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines will try to come up with it on the left side as they're now going there to the ground, and now we get that whistle from referee Moet Games. So the lights taken full effect here this evening. Cross comes in, but it's behind those players who are up front there for Horquetta Rangers. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines with possession, though battling to maintain it. Went right back there to Francis. There's a nice diagonal ball. Was looking there for James, and got it there from Ross. James, John T. James, floats it forward, and in the end it's booted out a touch. There, he was looking for Garrett Ledgerwood, but not the best of passes, Jalo.
And certainly good defensive work by Rangers, ensuring that it is cleared, and it was a throw-in for Vincent Heat.
Still with possession, Ledgerwood it is. Teasing the defender, looking to get around him, but that certainly didn't happen. And it's booted upfield back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines with Francis, who's been certainly doing a lot of work here this evening. And diagonal ball coming in, looking there for John T. James, just off the head of Ross Jr. Joel Jack is there, finds James this time. And he turns, can he get around the defense? Pass one, pass two. Still with it at the top of the 18-yard box. And in the end, it's just simply tucked away for a goal kick. And not too good work there from, is that Jackson, Matthew Jackson?
And you can see Ross Russell Jr. just shadowing it, and show it goes out of touch and for a goal kick.
Bryce, tall figure indeed. A lot of body also. And he now prepares to take this goal kick with the Vincey crowd behind him. Good header coming in there, but can only find a white shirt. And the Rangers will try to build on this, the left side. Gill. Back to Ross. Russell Ross. Finds Thomas. Floats it back into the middle now. And now we see simply knocking it around, as was the case with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Bit of patient football, but being robbed of it, and there's no whistle there. Play continues, and good work there by Duvani Williams. Two players now ending up on the turf, but no whistle. And here is Captain Cornelius Stewart in a nice little back heel. Ball into the middle now to Curtin Williams, who's a player who's still on the ground. I don't think Moet Games is fully aware of it. And play continues, as this ball is now floated onto the left side, looking there for Gill. There's still that player on the turf, and I believe, well,
there's the whistle now.
Right, he's now fully aware of it. And now we see the physio coming in there for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It looks as if it's Matthew Jackson possibly, or is it Duvani Williams? It's Duvani Williams who's down. and getting some attention there. Of course, didn't pick up as to exactly what had been responsible for his injury. Seems to be that right knee of his. Let's have a look again. And yes,
that's right. It happened.
Yes. Certainly got a serious knock there.
It's brought down there by the player.
And a few of the Vincent Heat players taking the opportunity to get some liquid. It's a cool evening here, of course, at the Victoria
cool.
Park.
But interestingly, we saw Captain Chad Haynes in conversation with John T. James, perhaps looking to do some strategizing in terms of getting forward.
Cornelia Stewart, yes, very important. Certainly very important. And the game will soon be resumed. I believe all is well there with Duvani Williams. As a matter of fact, we're seeing that there's a player for the Rangers on the far side also getting some attention. Well, there's a bit of a commentary that has taken place there. And the referee wet games now going to his pocket and issuing a yellow card. Captain there of the Rangers was saying to him, well, it's our ball, but certainly you must allow the referee indeed to manage the game. And well, back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Captain of the Rangers there, Tyrone Charles, not too happy, getting himself a yellow card as Vincent Heat will now look to come forward. There is what looks like Williams here on the far side, but robbed of it now with a burst of speed. Has 1, 2, 3 defenders. He's running at them, still with it, and goes to his right. Cross coming in now, and it's headed away there by Williams, but comes right back there to Gill for the Rangers. And Ross takes a shot just over the crossbar there, and in the end, wasn't a bad effort. He was always going wide, but certainly got this one on target, but was just over the crossbar.
A little too high and over the bar, trying to chip it over goalkeeper's toe. But in the end, it's a goal kick for Vincent Heat. There it is, Ross just chipping it over the jumping toe and out of touch. And we see Joel Jack still down, and now the signal for the physio. And he's been helped to his feet.
Well, I did say to you that at some point in time this game is going to get serious, and the whole matter, the friendliness is going to go out the window. You saw it a while ago, coming there from the Rangers captain. As far as he's concerned, he's played a competitive game, and we now seen a couple knocks. Of course, some of them not deliberate. Not that we will point and blame at anyone here this evening, but we expect as the game continue and the tension heightens, so to speak, that you'll be seeing 1 or 2 of these knocks taking place, or fouls, whatever you want to call them. Francis with possession.
So Vincent Heat down to 10 men at the moment.
Milton Williams, who's certainly being that all-rounder player here for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, now in more or less that right-back position, and you'll probably see him in that midfield in the next 5 minutes. As a good tackle coming in there from Thomas for the Rangers, and they'll now try to move forward. Whistle going, and it is against the Rangers, much to their disappointment. And an appeal coming there from the coach on the bench. As a matter of fact, both coaches are up. And so it's actually a free kick to the Rangers. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines guilty. Decide to come back with that one. Ross with possession. Gill got around. Gets, well, for a moment, thought he would have received that return ball, but it was some
the
nice,
ever-present Cortland Williams.
Yeah, but it was a nice deft movement there from Gill. You have to give him credit as far as that is concerned. But Cortland Williams, of course, saving the day there for Vincent Heat. And this one, Dosto and Jackson getting into a bit of a mix-up there, but in the end it fell favorably, giving him enough time to come back and pick up and avert any possible danger in this, the 48 minutes. So here's Matthew Jackson now in the midfield. Looking there for Jonte James. James knocks it into the path of Joel Jack. Of course, Jack, who plays for the local club, Liu. Giving it to a fellow North Leeward player. Of course, Curtin Williams, who plays for the Predators and who's had his fair share of caps for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I believe somewhere in the region of 34, 35 thereabout for Curtin Williams. Here's Francis. As a matter of fact, getting possession now, floating forward. And ball now back with the Rangers. Horquetta Rangers, Gill.
Good ball.
And he's a quite quick player indeed, but Giovanni Williams matching him there stride for stride and ensuring that that one went out of touch.
The long legs of Williams.
Yeah, he's certainly stuck with Gill there, who's quite a pacey player indeed. And good work there from Williams. As St. Vincent and the Grenadines giving that one away on the right side, but they immediately regain possession, and it's knocked away just into the bench area of Vincent Heat. There you see the coach for the Rangers, and the throw quickly taken. Francis with space and time finds Joel Jack. Also has some space, finds Jonte James. James floats the cross in, and there's no green shirt within that region. Ball knocked away by the Rangers, and they'll now try to come forward there on the right side. As diagonal ball comes in now, but the tall figure there of Williams is just there to nod it away, nod it out. But still very much in St. Vincent and the Grenadines half. Looking there for Gill. Gill has the defender with him. Twist and turn. Still with it. Twisting and turning, and in the end robbed of it. And Jonte James certainly will try to make that movement for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A diagonal searching ball. Lovely ball there to captain Cornelius Stewart. Stewart looks for, finds James well. Chad Haynes, as a matter of fact. And kept that one in. Back to Stewart. Floated at the top of the 18-yard box, and here's Ledgerwood.
Tame shot by Cook.
Very tame shot indeed. And opportunities certainly gone a begging there for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but it was a nice diagonal ball coming in there from Jonte James, where he found his captain. St. Vincent still with possession. And it's with Stewart. Ledgerwood. That's 1, 2, 3. Yellow shirt to them goes down. There's an appeal for a possible penalty, but referee game's not too interested in such. And Giovanni Williams now with it in this, the 43rd minute. We're into the 9 stages of this, the first half. And maybe we'll probably have about a minute or two thereabouts of extra time, all left to be seen, as Williams gets possession there from Francis. Stewart. And certainly had a good game here this evening. Finds Joel Jack, but he was pressured there by the defender. Cross came in nonetheless, and in the end had to be knocked away. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines are enjoying a bit of possession here against the Rangers, and certainly putting them under a bit of a pressure. But Rangers showing that there's that fight within them, and they'll now try to come forward on the right side. Ball floated forward, but again it's given up. And here comes what looks like Jackson. And in the end, the Rangers picking up possession again. So whistle going there, and it's foul against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But good 5 to 6 minutes of
good football.
Good build-up there by Vincent Heat.
Very good build-up, but on the counter, the Rangers look to put the pressure back on Vincent Heat, and there we see the player being brought down. And a free kick, but certainly good work by Vincent Heat for those few minutes.
Yes, and that certainly was a blatant foul there by Matthew Jackson, bringing the player down for the Rangers, the Horquetta Rangers. Of course, they're preparing for the National Cup Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, making that tour across the Caribbean. One is floated in, and a good header coming in there from Duvani Williams. He certainly had a good game in defense here this evening, towering above everyone and just nodding that one out.
Put out by Vincent Heath, so it's going to be a throw-in. Is it?
It is a throw-in for the Rangers. As a matter of fact, it looks as if it might very well be pretty close to the corner flag. And let's see what he makes of this one.
Throw.
There goes Francis. Doesn't get too far. Still within that danger zone. And the play was making a turn, but picked up there by Cornelius Stewart. Robbed of it from Ross. And we've been at, well, 1 minute extra time. And here comes Cornelius Stewart. Finds Garrett Letterwood. Letterwood stay with it. And in the end, cross attempted, but again, the defender Thomas stuck with him all the way there.
Bit of pushing, but in the end, good defensive work by Thomas.
So
still 0-0.
Just awaiting this goal kick from Bryce, as the crowd probably has tripled here at the Victoria Park, and this might very well be the final kick of this, the first half. Floated upfield onto the head of Ledgerwood, and certainly it is. That's the first 45 minutes here this evening. St. Vincent and the Grenadines taking on Terminix, Horquetta Rangers out of Trinidad and Tobago. After the first 45 minutes, it's 0-0, and maybe just a fair result thus far. Both teams certainly have had their opportunities, but we must commend both sides, of course, for indeed bringing that pace.
Keenly contested.
As we said, Charlie.
And certainly a fast-paced game, and we look forward for that coming in the second half.
So we take a break, and we'll be back with you with more football action here from the Victoria Park.
This Friday, 7 p.m., live on M&E TV, the Terminix Horquetta Rangers preseason tour continues as they play Grenada's national football team, formerly known as the Spice Boys. This Friday.
Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. At our facilities, security checks ensures that all vehicles are secured. Our newly renovated bathrooms are always kept in a clean working order. Need repairs and maintenance? We have you covered. Our qualified workmen will get the job done. Boat storages, from our marina, you can easily push off for a family sailing trip. Or out fishing with the boys. A fun DDI experience with friends. Boat repairs, secured parking, extensive camera system, boat charters, boat rentals, down the island parties. Contact us at 1-868-634-1653. Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. Life's better on a boat.
Pest control is a pain, but you don't have to go it alone. If you're a business that needs someone who will fix your problems point blank, go with the brand that's tested. Go with Terminix. Our Trinidad franchise neutralizes the threat of tropical insects and ensures that companies, from food production to hospitality, protect their investment and get the maximum value from our relationship. Contact us today for a free consultation and quote, and let's introduce you to convenience. The situation we have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for the carnival, if you'll interview him, eh?
But how could you defend one shot, one kill?
What? You want me to throw a pillow at him?
I didn't say that.
No, well, if a roach jumps in front of you now, what will you do?
Run.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Father.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
A very good afternoon to one and all, and here we are at the La Horquetta Rangers ground in La Horquetta, and we have before us the director and owner of the Ascension, and we would like to find out from Mr. Richards Ferguson, give us the history on the zonal competition that would have been concluded quite recently.
Well, Mariri, you know, it's been a really long football season. Each one of the 6 zones would have played football in 2022. The Tobago, South Zone, Central, North Zone, Eastern Counties, and East Zone, I believe that's the 6.
Yes.
And they would all have culminated with a champion in each zone. And it would have included something like about 96 teams in all. And out of the 96 teams came the 6 top teams in Trinidad and Tobago, which is what we have here right now, vying for the Champion of Champions trophy.
Yes.
You know, it's been a really...
All right, well, I'm here with the captain of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines team, Cornelius Stewart, and a pleasure to have you here this afternoon. First and foremost, we know that it's been a rough road with regards to preparations. Yeah. Of course, you had a situation where the team went to Barbados. Game had to be aborted because of circumstances beyond the team's control. But tell us, what's the mood in the camp like?
The mood in the camp is very good. Unfortunately, we couldn't face a game in Barbados due to difficulties beyond our control. But all in all, we have a good bunch of guys, and we are confident that what we have to do in this upcoming game. And this game today gonna show the coaches for selection also to show the mental and physical preparation of the guys. So we are ready and up for the challenge.
All right, Horquetta Rangers, of course, a Premier club out of Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, they just came from Grenada, where they lost 1, drew 1. They defeated St. Lucia. Tell us, what can you expect from this team today?
This is a very competitive game for us. We are happy for them to invite us to play this game so we could show our showing. So we know today we're going to be a tough game for us, and I think the guys are prepared for it and ready for it. And so we are just thankful for them to join us in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Well, finally, of course, you have 2 more games left as far as the Nations League are concerned. St. Vincent and the Grenadines sitting at the bottom of the table. What do you say to your fans going forward?
Well, we're not thinking about the bottom of the table. We're just thinking about winning these 2 games, and I think we are mentally and ready for this game. We know how important these games are, and I think we are focused and zooming for these games, and I think these 2 games are going to help us prepare for these 2 games coming up ahead.
Connie, thank you very much, and all the best in today's game. Bishon Williams, the coach of Vincent Heat, here with me this afternoon. Your team very much short of match practice, hence the reason why you engage in La Horquetta this afternoon. But tell us, with the absence of that, do you see that having an effect on your team?
Well, it shouldn't really have much effect on us. What we use these games for basically as a test. We're still in training. Our local league is still going on. And the guys who are playing overseas are playing football. So football is happening.
All right. Well, you talk about the guys, of course, being in competition. The Premiership is going on, certainly. What expectations do you have as a coach as far as this game is concerned?
Well, as I previously mentioned a while ago, it's a matter of testing where they're at and see how much they're executing what we're working on the training field. So the main objective here is to observe the players.
Well, the big objective, of course, is to take St. Vincent and the Grenadines from the cellar position as far as the National League is concerned. As a coach, you want to tell us exactly what plans are in store to achieve such?
Well, making sure that we don't finish at the bottom of the table for sure. That's the biggest performance indicator for us. But the challenge we're facing is going through this transition period. As we know, our last head coach has left the job. His contract has been expired, and we're in the transition of selecting a new head coach. So it's always going to be a challenge. But the guys aren't any different. The guys basically are the same, one or two additions in terms of who are in form in our local league. So we should be in a better place rather than a worse place where players are concerned. But it's always going to be difficult to pick up where someone left off and carry on the baton.
Coach Williams, all the best, and thank you very much. All the best in today's game.
All right, thank you.
Jamal Crichton, the captain of La Horquetta Rangers. Of course, you're just coming off a surgeon in St. Lucia and then Grenada. Of course, some mixed results. How has it been for your team?
It's been good. It's been good. This is our pre-season tour, and so far it's been tremendous. I think the team gelling really well.
Now, you're here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Do you expect stiffer competition? What are the expectations of your team?
Well, it's a national team we're playing against, so I believe that it will be a stiff game. And we're expecting to do our best against St. Vincent.
Now, I know you've been here for a couple of days, and let's just talk a little bit about St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I know you've been certainly getting the opportunity to use some of the facilities. You care to talk about that?
Yeah, it's not bad. I think it's a good experience thus far. We haven't do much touring yet, but in terms of the environment, the field and stuff, I think it's good enough.
And finally, of course, you're, as you said, preparing for your championship in Trinidad and Tobago. What is the mood like in your camp?
Well, the mood is very exciting. Everybody is ready for the tournament to start. I think this experience against these teams here is what we needed. I think we are ready to perform and play good football.
Thank you very much, and all the best in today's game.
Thank you.
I'm here with Kieran Edwards, the manager of La Horquetta Rangers. Of course, you're on that, what I term a Caribbean tour. How has it been for your team?
I think it's been good so far. We had some mixed results. We won one in Grenada against St. Lucia. We lost against them after leading 2-0 at the half. Was a bitter pill to swallow, but we learned from it. Then we came back and we drew the last game in Grenada. But I think in terms of the preparation, the different grounds, the different times as well, I think we are doing well on the tour so far.
You talk about your preparation. Any reason for choosing, well, more or less the Windward Islands, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and Grenada for preparation?
We normally go on tours through the Caribbean. The last time we went to St. Lucia and Grenada, we have a good relationship with the FA of St. Vincent, and we choose St. Vincent to come to this tour at this time. I think the last couple games St. Vincent had international games against Grenada and whatnot. We wanted to test our abilities against them, so it was one that was an easy choice to make.
And finally, of course, you're preparing for your championship in Trinidad and Tobago. What can your fans back home expect from La Horquetta?
They'll expect a fit team, a well-prepared team. I think with the tour going right back into the season, I think it will help us as well. We have been able to see a couple wrongs play, so we see the opposition. So they will expect a fast, disciplined Rangers team when we come back, and hopefully we'll get the wins and compete for the title.
Coach, thank you very much. All the best in today's game.
No problem, man. Keep good.
All right, so we're back here tonight at the Victoria Park to witness the final 45 minutes in this friendly game taking place. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, of course, taking on Horquetta Rangers. And after the first 45 minutes, it's 0-0. I noticed that there's a substitution that is taking place for St. Vincent and for Grenadines. I think we might have very well missed the numbers, Charlo, but certainly we get the information for our viewers in just a little while. So there's the Rangers with their captain just having a little huddle, and soon we'll have this second half going here this evening, where the crowd has certainly built up here at the Victoria Park.
It's certainly a decent crowd in, and perhaps we'll say a Sunday afternoon crowd.
We can say that, yes, certainly. So there's
St. Vincent team in a huddle.
Yeah, definitely. And I believe they've either one or two substitutions. Immediately I noticed that the number 16 player is in, and that's a portion of the crowd here this evening. Nice mix. Good to see a lot of the youngsters out. Some of them, of course, wearing the national colors.
Cleon Westfield in number 16. Soto is number 11. In Terrace Joseph.
And those are two players who certainly done well for their club teams.
And the number 12 in Sherwin Alexander.
So some changes coming in for St. Vincent, and the Grenadines now have possession deep inside their own half on the left side. It's with Gavin Brown. Ball knocked back. And there we see that.
There's number 6 as well, Kenisha Joseph.
Kenisha Joseph, of course, the captain of the Leo team. Ball knocked forward, but Bryce is right in behind that one. And I believe the defense fully aware of the fact that the ball was already through, so didn't really have to do too much, as Bryce had it covered.
There's a 5th Vincentian as well, Aquan Edwards, the number 17.
So then 5 changes.
So far, looks like Williams out.
Good cross coming in there, and there's Thomas still with possession for the Rangers. And they're still hanging on to it. Cross coming in, and in the end, whistle going. It's an infringement against the Rangers player, and Vincent Heat will have a free kick. An early injury in this, the second half. Referee Mort Games just having a look at the player who went down, and he's back up. All appears to be pretty much okay with him. So here's Kenisha Joseph. Ball now into the path of the Vincent number 16 here on the left side. Joseph choosing to go back there to Kevin Francis. And you see this tactic here by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines team. They appear to be quite comfortable to knock it around first and foremost in defense, and then try to build on the flanks going up.
But the Rangers have been pretty much alert and aware of it.
So ball off the head of the Vincentian defense, but the Rangers are looking to come up then, and well done. Gets past one, just waiting for his numbers to come back, and shot comes in, and it's over the crossbar. Whistle going there. I believe it's against St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as it looks like Thomas, who's on the turf there for the Rangers, seems to be in a bit of pain, but being helped up there by referee Mort Games. And this can be rather interesting times here. It's almost sent at the top of the. Let's see what happens. It's a corner kick, yes. So the Rangers got a corner kick. Not the best of corner kicks. I don't think he'll be too happy with that one, as it's knocked away here by St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Terrace Joseph finds
Westfield been robbed of it.
Yes. And Westfield now regains possession. Joseph couldn't get there in time. And regains possession now. Lost his footing momentarily, but did enough. And picking it up once again. A little bit of scrappy play taking place, but nonetheless, in Vincent and Wendy still with possession through Kenija Joseph. Runs past the player there now. And cross comes in, nodded away. And he certainly put an effort into that cross, Kenija Joseph. Heard that thud as Boot certainly had that relationship with the ball, so to speak. But the Rangers will now try to pick this one up here as Josiah floats it in. Francis is in close attendance and fouling in the process. And it's going to be a free kick to the Rangers. Captain going down. Was being fouled a while ago. Quickly taken free kick, and Josto certainly there for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
So Josiah Edwards seems to be in for the Rangers.
So that's the other substitution that we would have missed. And Vincey Heat with possession. Joseph. Ball floated forward now. And here is a possible opportunity. Takes a shot, and a good save there from Bryce. He was really tested there. Wonderful strike coming
from Westfield.
Yes.
But good work by Bryce and using his height to the full advantage. Knocking it out of touch, it's going to be a corner.
Let's have a look at it once again as he tees this one up. And a crunching left footer, but brushed over the crossbar. Here comes the corner kick. And there is the ball now being knocked back in defense, I should say. With a lot of space. And it's going to be picked up there by Westfield. Going back there to Gavin Brown. The two North Leeward players combining there for St. Vincent. Westfield now with possession. Ball into the path there of Joseph. And robbed of it by the Rangers team. Daniel with possession. Lovely ball there on the right side. And mostly marked there by Gavin Brown. And gets the cross in and almost sneaked in there at the near post. Good opportunity there for the Rangers. And pretty lucky there, Vincey Heat. Charlo.
Definitely, I think the goalkeeper was beaten so towards the defense and he just slid across the face of the goal. But it's still in Vincey Heat's half.
So the Rangers building a bit of pressure here as the cross comes in. And in the end, it's knocked out of touch, is it? Well, not quite, but still with the Rangers. And good work there. Terrace Joseph. And poor work by Kenija Joseph, just simply giving it away there.
After all the hard work.
Yes. So, ball still within the St. Vincent and the Grenadines half. Rangers on the left side. Player with a burst of speed, looking to get around Gavin Brown. Gets the return ball. Cross comes in now, and it's in the back of the goal. Opening goal there for the Rangers. It was the writing was on the wall. 5-minute period of pressure being built up here on the Vincey Heat team. And what appeared to be a cross was a crunching low drive past goalkeeper Stowe. And it is the Rangers 1, St. Vincent and the Grenadines 0.
Good piece of work by the Rangers, and it looked like Perez with that crunching drive, beating goalkeeper Stone into the back of the net. The Rangers takes the lead.
And certainly, let's have a look at this replay once again. Ball given up there by St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And here it comes to the left there of Stowe. Certainly had a lot of venom on top of it. Didn't have any answer.
But again, the defense was caught napping.
Without a doubt. So, Terminix Horquetta Rangers striking first here tonight at the Victoria Park. And this is going to get things started once again. Here is Kenija Joseph. Finds Westfield to his left. And going back in defense there to Gavin Brown. Brown goes right back to the central back in Francis. Kevin Francis It is, of course, Avenues United player, plays his trade in Antigua, plays semi-professional football in Antigua. And there we see an infringement against the Vincent Heat team. So, free kick now to the Rangers. Ball drilled upfield. Terrace Joseph is there. So too is the Horquetta player, but Stowe read it very early indeed, was quickly off his line and collected, hold it out there to Gavin Brown. It was a little surprising to see the likes of Williams being substituted for Vincent Heat. Maybe it's just a situation where the coach wants to give everybody that opportunity.
Definitely, I was rather surprised to see Giovanni Williams being substituted, because I thought he was very good in defense.
There is ball knocked forward into the part of Westfield. It was looking to give the return ball there, but shot coming in, but it's high, wide, aimless, absolutely no threat.
I think Terrace was pressured there to take that shot because the defense was closing in. He didn't have the space. He looked for the shot. It was high, wide, aimless, no threat whatsoever for the goalkeeper, and a goal kick result.
Let's have a look at it. Well, probably should still have done a little better there. Ball bounced nicely there for him, but rather than getting over, he got under, and it went high and wide. Goal kick now result. Bryce. Ball still with the Rangers. Of course, they now have that one-goal lead here tonight, as it's knocked forward and player found to be in an offside position. So,
yes, the number 17 in Akron Edwards. He seemed to be caught in that offside position, and it's a free kick for the Rangers.
Kick now being taken, floated upfield. As there's a bit of quietness from the crowd here tonight at the Victoria Park, and even more so the fact that the local team have gone down by one by a loose ball, and well, that certainly should have been a lot better there from
Guerrera
on your screen, Guerrera, because he was unmarked, had the time, had the space, and just dragged it wide. Vincent Heat nonetheless continues. Ball on the right side, given up, and the Rangers will try to come forward yet again. Gavin Brown, he's had a fair share of work thus far, but this Kevin Francis cleaning things up at the top of the 18-yard box there on the right side. And a good flick on. Lovely work as he moves down the right side. Cross comes in now, and well, it was more or less straight there to goalkeeper Bryce. Certainly didn't bring his two forwards into play there, Charlo.
Definitely not.
Here comes the Rangers now. Diagonal ball coming in. Good ball. This could be number 2, but Stowe quickly off his line. He read it very early indeed. And that was a situation where the defense was simply split. They caught flat-footed, Charlo. And they all stood and just watched as the player moved in the middle there.
And it shows that the Rangers are very, very alert, looking for every opportunity they can get. And there it was. But goalkeeper Stowe very quickly off his line.
There's a possibility now for Westfield. He's closely marked. And the hands on to possession. Ball came back out there for Terrace Joseph. An attempted cross, and the defender there for the Rangers taking absolutely no chances, knocking it away.
And that's Cyrus.
There's Joseph, Aditya Joseph. Durham looks for, finds his number 7.
Stephen Pear.
Of course, that's the player from Vesco Pashas. And the whistle going there, it's against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Rangers, of course, with a free kick. That's Kevin Francis, who I said earlier a while ago, plays semi-professional in Antigua. So, free kick now to be taken by the Rangers as ball just been placed in the right position. Seems as if they're going to be having a triple change pretty shortly from the Rangers, as they now prepare to take this free kick, and one that is nodded away. Stephen Fair. We're back in defense once again. It's been the routine for us in Vincent and the Grenadines, and now Gavin